Hi. Welcome to the History House. I'm Ahmed Saeed and you are watching the History of the 17th of October on your favorite The History House YouTube channel. Please like this video and subscribe the channel for the importance of the day, success stories as well as the failure stories around the world on daily basis. October 17th is the 290th day of the year, 291st in leap years in the Gregorian calendar. 75 days remain until the end of the year. Emperor Jean-Jacques Dessalines, Emperor of Haiti, was a leader of the Haitian Revolution and the first ruler of an independent Haiti under the 1805 Constitution. Under Dessalines, Haiti became the first country in the Americas to permanently abolish slavery. He is regarded as one of the founding fathers of Haiti. Dessalines served as an officer in the French army, when the colony was fending off Spanish and British incursions. Later he rose to become a commander in the revolt against France. As Toussaint Louverture's principal lieutenant, he led many successful engagements, including the Battle of Crête-et-Pierrot. 17th of October is celebrated as Dessalines Day in Haiti. October 17th is significant for the digital society in India since it was on October 17, 2000, that Information Technology Act 2000, the first law of the digital society in India, was notified. This notification gave for the first time in the country, legal recognition for electronic documents. It also provided a legally recognized method of authentication of electronic documents by means of digital signatures. Additionally, Information Technology Act 2000 recognized cyber crimes and prescribed a fast-track grievance redressal mechanism for cyber crimes. October 17th also being the Poverty Alleviation Day, and poverty alleviation through ICT being the theme of the WSIS, Digital Society Foundation is undertaking projects that would help digital society contribute to the alleviation of poverty in rural India. The International Day for the Eradication of Poverty is an international observance celebrated each year on October 17 throughout the world. The first commemoration of the event took place in Paris, France in 1987 when 100,000 people gathered on the Human Rights and Liberties Plaza at the Trocadero to honor victims of poverty, hunger, violence, and fear at the unveiling of a commemorative stone by Joseph Resinski, founder of the international movement ATD Fourth World. In 1992, 4 years after Resinski's death, the United Nations officially designated October 17 as the International Day for the Eradication of Poverty. Loyalty Day is a commemoration day in Argentina. It remembers October 17, 1945, when a massive labor demonstration at Plaza de Mayo demanded the liberation of Juan Domingo Perón, who was jailed in Martín García Island. It is considered the foundation day of Peronism. 690 Empress Wu Zetian establishes the Zhou dynasty of China. The Wu Zhou, known officially as Zhou, Second Zhou dynasty or Restored Zhou dynasty, was a Chinese dynasty that existed between 690 and 705 AD, when Wu Zetian ruled as Empress Regnant. The dynasty began when Wu Zhao, which was Wu Zetian's personal name, usurped the throne of her son, the Emperor Ruozong of Tang, and lasted until Emperor Zhongzong of Tang was restored to the throne. Historians generally view the Wu Zhou as an interregnum of the Tang dynasty. 1091 London tornado of 1091, a tornado thought to be of strength T8, F4 strikes the heart of London. The London tornado of 1091 is reckoned by modern assessment of the reports as possibly a T8 tornado, roughly equal to an F4 tornado, which occurred in London in the Kingdom of England and was the earliest reported tornado in that area, occurring on Friday 17 October 1091. 1346 The English capture King David II of Scotland at Neville's Cross and imprison him for 11 years. The Battle of Neville's Cross took place during the Second War of Scottish Independence on 17 October 1346, half a mile 800 metres to the west of Durham, England. An invading Scottish army of 12,000 led by King David II was defeated with heavy loss by an English army of approximately 6,000 to 7,000 men led by Ralph Neville, Lord Neville. The battle was named after an Anglo-Saxon stone cross that stood on the hill where the Scots made their stand. After the victory, Neville paid to have a new cross erected to commemorate the day. 1448 An Ottoman army defeats a Hungarian army at the Second Battle of Kosovo. The Second Battle of Kosovo, Hungarian, Massacre Csa, Turkish, Akinci Kosova Savaşı, the 17th to the 20th of October 1448, was a land battle between a Hungarian-led Crusader army and the Ottoman Empire at Kosovo Polje. It was the culmination of a Hungarian offensive to avenge the defeat at Varna 4 years earlier. 1456 The University of Greifswald is established as the second oldest university in Northern Europe. The University of Greifswald is a public research university located in Greifswald, Germany, in the state of Mecklenburg-Vorpommern. Founded in 1456, it is one of the oldest universities in Europe, with generations of notable alumni and staff having studied or worked in Greifswald. As the fourth oldest university in present Germany, it was temporarily also the oldest university of the kingdoms of Sweden (1648–1815) and Prussia (1815–1945), respectively. Approximately two-thirds of the 10,179 students are from outside the state, including foreign students from 90 countries all over the world. Due to the small-town atmosphere, the pronounced architectural presence of the alma mater across town, and the young, academic flair in the streets, Greifswald is often described as a university with a town built around it rather than a town with a university. 1534 anti-Catholic posters appear in Paris and other cities supporting Huldrych Zwingli's position on the Mass. The Affair of the Placards, French, Affaire des Placards, was an incident in which anti-Catholic posters appeared in public places in Paris and in four major provincial cities, Blois, Rouen, Tours and Orléans, in the night of the 17th to the 18th of October, 1534. One of the posters was posted on the bedchamber door of King Francis I at Amboise, an affront and a breach of security that left him shaken. The Affaire des Placards brought an end to the conciliatory policies of Francis, who had formerly attempted to protect the Protestants from the more extreme measures of the Parlement de Paris, and also of the public entreaties for moderation of Philip Melanchthon. 1558 Poczta Polska, the Polish postal service, is founded. Poczta Polska is the state postal administration of Poland, initially founded in 1558. It is the largest mail handling company in the country, which additionally provides courier, banking, insurance and logistics services. The digital services, such as Neo Stamps, Neo Letters and Neo Postcards, are available through the internet-based platform Invelo. 1604 Kepler's supernova is observed in the constellation of Ophiuchus. SN 1604, also known as Kepler's supernova, Kepler's nova or Kepler's star, was a type Ia supernova that occurred in the Milky Way, in the constellation Ophiuchus. Appearing in 1604, it is the most recent supernova in our galaxy to have been unquestionably observed by the naked eye, occurring no farther than 6 kiloparsecs (20,000 light-years) from Earth. Prior to the adoption of the current naming system for supernovae, it was named for Johannes Kepler, the German astronomer who described it in De Stella Nova. 1610 French King Louis XIII is crowned in Reims Cathedral. Louis XIII was King of France from 1610 to 1643 and King of Navarre as Louis II from 1610 to 1620, when the crown of Navarre was merged with the French crown. Shortly before his 9th birthday, Louis became King of France and Navarre after his father Henry IV was assassinated. His mother, Marie de' Medici, acted as regent during his minority. Mismanagement of the kingdom and ceaseless political intrigues by Marie and her Italian favorites led the young king to take power in 1617 by exiling his mother and executing her followers, including Concino Concini, the most influential Italian at the French court. 1660 The 9 regicides who signed the death warrant of Charles I of England are hanged, drawn and quartered. Following the trial of Charles I in January 1649, 59 commissioners, judges, signed his death warrant. They, along with several key associates and numerous court officials, were the subject of punishment following the restoration of the monarchy in 1660 with the coronation of Charles II. Charles I's trial and execution had followed the Second English Civil War, in which his supporters, Royalist Cavaliers, were opposed by the parliamentarian Roundheads, led by Oliver Cromwell. 1662 Charles II of England sells Dunkirk to Louis XIV of France for £40,000. 1771 premiere in Milan of the opera Ascanio in Alba, composed by Mozart at age 15. 1777 American Revolutionary War, British General John Burgoyne surrenders his army at Saratoga, New York. 1781 American Revolutionary War, British General Charles, Earl Cornwallis surrenders at the Siege of Yorktown. 1800 War of the Second Coalition, Britain takes control of the Dutch colony of Curaçao. 1806 Former leader of the Haitian Revolution, Emperor Jacques I, is assassinated after an oppressive rule. 1814 8 people die in the London beer flood. The London beer flood was an accident at Muir & Co.'s Horseshoe Brewery, London, on 17 October 1814. The pressure destroyed another vessel, and between 128,000 and 323,000 imperial gallons 580,000 to 1,470,000 L, 154,000 to 388,000 US gal of beer were released. 1817 The tomb of Pharaoh Seti I is discovered. Tomb KV-17, located in Egypt's Valley of the Kings and also known by the names Belzoni's tomb, the tomb of Apis, and the tomb of Samus, son of Nechoas, is the tomb of Pharaoh Seti I of the 19th dynasty. It is one of the best decorated tombs in the valley, but now is almost always closed to the public due to damage. 1861 The Open Championship, referred to in North America as the British Open. The Open Championship, often referred to as the Open or the British Open, is the oldest golf tournament in the world, and one of the most prestigious. Founded in 1860, it was originally held annually at Prestwick Golf Club, Scotland, before evolving to being rotated between a select group of coastal links golf courses in the United Kingdom, under the authority of the R&A. 1861 Aboriginal Australians kill 19 Europeans in the Cullen-la-Ringo Massacre. The Cullen-la-Ringo Massacre, known historically as the Wills Tragedy, occurred north of modern-day Springsure in central Queensland on 17 October 1861. It remains the largest massacre of white settlers by Aboriginals in Australian history, and a pivotal moment in the frontier wars in Queensland. 1907 Marconi begins the first commercial transatlantic wireless service. The Marconi Company was a British telecommunications and engineering company that did business under that name from 1963 to 1987. It was derived from earlier variations in the name and incorporation, spanning a period from its inception in 1897 until 2006, during which time it underwent numerous changes, mergers and acquisitions. The company was founded by the Italian inventor Guglielmo Marconi and began as the Wireless Telegraph and Signal Company. 1912 Bulgaria, Greece and Serbia declare war on the Ottoman Empire, joining Montenegro in the First Balkan War. 1931 Al Capone is convicted of income tax evasion. Alphonse Gabriel Capone, sometimes known by the nickname Scarface, was an American gangster and businessman who attained notoriety during the Prohibition era as the co-founder and boss of the Chicago outfit. His 7-year reign as a crime boss ended when he went to prison at the age of 33. 1933 Albert Einstein flees Nazi Germany and moves to the United States. Albert Einstein, about this Soundlisten 1879–18 April 1955, was a German-born theoretical physicist who developed the theory of relativity, one of the two pillars of modern physics, alongside quantum mechanics. His work is also known for its influence on the philosophy of science. He is best known to the general public for his mass-energy equivalence formula E=mc², which has been dubbed the world's most famous equation. He received the 1921 Nobel Prize in Physics for his services to theoretical physics, and especially for his discovery of the law of the photoelectric effect, a pivotal step in the development of quantum theory. 1940 The body of communist propagandist Willy Munzenberg found in South France, starting a never-resolved mystery. 1941 World War II, the USS Carney becomes the first U.S. Navy vessel to be torpedoed by a U-boat. 1943 The Burma Railway, Burma-Thailand Railway is completed. The Burma Railway, also known as the Death Railway, the Siam-Burma Railway, the Thai-Burma Railway and similar names, is a 415-kilometre (258 miles) railway between Banpong, Thailand, and Thanbisayat, Burma, built by the Empire of Japan from 1940 to 1944 to supply troops and weapons in the Burma campaign of World War II. This railway completed the rail link between Bangkok, Thailand, and Rangoon, Burma. The name used by the Japanese government is Thai Men Rensetsu Tetsudo, which means Thailand-Burma Link Railway. 1943 Nazi Holocaust in Poland, Sobibor extermination camp is closed. Sobibor was an extermination camp built and operated by Nazi Germany as part of Operation Reinhard. It was located in the forest near the village of Sobibor in the General Government region of German-occupied Poland. As an extermination camp rather than a concentration camp, Sobibor existed for the sole purpose of killing Jews. The vast majority of prisoners were gassed within a few hours of their arrival. Those not gassed immediately were forced to assist in the operation of the camp, and few survived more than a few months. In total, some 170,000 to 250,000 people were murdered at Sobibor, making it the fourth deadliest Nazi camp after Belzec, Treblinka, and Auschwitz. 1945 A massive demonstration in Buenos Aires, Argentina, demands Juan Perón's release. 1956 The first commercial nuclear power station is officially opened by Queen Elizabeth II in Sellafield, England. 1961 Directed by their chief Maurice Papon, Paris police massacre scores of Algerian protesters. 1965 The 1964–65 New York World's Fair closes after 2 years and more than 51 million attendees. 1966 The 23rd Street Fire in New York City kills 12 firefighters. The 23rd Street Fire was an incident that took place in the Flatiron District neighborhood of Manhattan, New York City, on October 17, 1966. A group of firefighters from the New York City Fire Department responding to a fire at 7 East 22nd Street entered a building at 6 East 23rd Street as part of an effort to fight the fire. 12 firefighters were killed after the floor collapsed, the largest loss of life in the department's history until the collapse of the World Trade Center in the September 11 attacks of 2001. 1969 The Caravaggio painting Nativity with St. Francis and St. Lawrence is stolen from the Oratory of St. Lawrence in Palermo. 1970 FLQ terrorists murder Quebec Vice Premier and Minister of Labour Pierre Laporte. 1973 OPEC imposes an oil embargo against countries they deem to have helped Israel in the Yom Kippur War. 1977 The hijacked Lufthansa Flight 181 lands in Mogadishu. The remaining hostages are later rescued. 1979 Mother Teresa is awarded the Nobel Peace Prize. Mother Mary Teresa Boyagiu, born Angeze Gonje Boyagiu, Albanian, the 26th of August 1910 to the 5th of September 1997, honored in the Catholic Church as Saint Teresa of Calcutta, was an Albanian Indian Roman Catholic nun and missionary. She was born in Skopje, now the capital of North Macedonia, then part of the Kosovo Vilayet of the Ottoman Empire. After living in Skopje for 18 years, she moved to Ireland and then to India, where she lived for most of her life. 1979 The Department of Education Organization Act creates the U.S. Department of Education. 1980 As part of the Holy See United Kingdom relations, a British monarch makes the first state visit to the Vatican. 1988 Uganda Airlines Flight 775 crashes at Rome Fiumicino International Airport, in Rome, Italy, killing 33 people. 1989 The 6.9 MW Loma Prieta earthquake shakes the San Francisco Bay Area and the Central Coast, killing 63. 1989 The East German Politburo votes to remove Erich Honecker from his role as General Secretary. 1991–1991 Rudrapur bombings by Sikh separatists, who exploded 2 bombs during a Ramlila Hindu celebration in Rudrapur, Uttarakhand, killing 41 people. 1992 Having gone to the wrong house, Japanese student Yoshihiro Hattori is killed by the homeowner in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. 1994 Russian journalist Dmitry Koledov is assassinated while investigating corruption in the armed forces. 2000 The Hatfield rail crash leads to the collapse of Railtrack. The Hatfield rail crash was a railway accident on 17 October 2000, at Hatfield, Hertfordshire. Reports found there was a lack of communication and some staff were not aware of maintenance procedures. Railtrack subsequently went into administration and was replaced by Network Rail. 2001 Israeli Tourism Minister Rehavam Ze'evi becomes the first Israeli minister to be assassinated in a terrorist attack. 2003 Taipei 101, a 101-floor skyscraper in Taipei, becomes the world's tallest high-rise. 2018 The recreational use of cannabis is legalized in Canada. The Cannabis Act, also known as Bill C-45, is a law which legalized recreational cannabis use nationwide in Canada in combination with its companion legislation Bill C-46, an act to amend the Criminal Code. The law is a milestone in the legal history of cannabis in Canada, alongside the 1923 prohibition. 2018 Kerch Polytechnic College attack in Crimea. The Kerch Polytechnic College massacre was a school shooting and bomb attack that occurred in Kerch, Crimea, on 17 October 2018. 18-year-old student Vladislav Roslyakov shot and killed 20 people and wounded 70 others before committing suicide. The attack was the greatest loss of life in school violence in the former Soviet Union since the 2004 Beslan school siege. 2019 Drug dealers in Culiacan, Sinaloa, Mexico force the government to back down on an arrest. Culiacan, officially Culiacan Rosales, is a city in northwestern Mexico. It is the capital of and the largest city in Sinaloa and in the Culiacan municipality. It is the most populous and extensive city in Sinaloa and was founded on September 29, 1531 by the Spanish conquerors Lázaro de Cebreros and Nuno Beltrán de Guzmán. The first outline of the city was made by the architect Luis F. Molina. Thanks a lot for watching the History House YouTube channel. Please like this video and subscribe the channel for latest stories on daily basis.